3 ways out of the 5 in which plants use glucose. So you could have said for respiration, of course. You could have said for making cellulose, which is what makes up strong cell walls. You could have said for making amino acids, for being stored as oils or fats, or to be stored as starch. Now just be aware that you could get a long answer question on this. Okay. Question 3, what is a limiting factor? So a limiting factor is the element of a reaction which will stop the reaction happening. So let's say you have loads of blue beads and only 2 yellow beads, you only can react twice because you've only got 2 of one thing. That is the limiting factor. And therefore list 3 limiting factors for photosynthesis. Okay, the limiting factors are light, carbon dioxide, and temperature. Okay, temperature is linked to enzymes, so limiting factor, but those are the 3. Just remember that for light and for carbon dioxide, the limiting factor graph looks more like because once you reach that limit, it's just flat. Whereas for temperature, because it's about enzymes, the graph is going to go because once it's reached that limit, the enzymes will become denatured rather than just staying at a constant. Give me a technique you could use to measure the rate of photosynthesis. Okay, you could have said counting bubbles, but a better technique would be a gas syringe technique, which is when you use a syringe and you have a capillary tube and the gas moves up the syringe and you measure how much gas has been produced. What is metabolism? So metabolism is just the sum of all chemical reactions that go on in an organism. Okay, and can you give an example of a metabolic reaction where larger molecules are broken down into smaller molecules? Okay, one example is when protein is broken down to produce urea. You could have also talked about glucose being broken down in respiration. What does anaerobic respiration produce? Lactic acid. And what about anaerobic respiration in yeast? That produces ethanol and carbon dioxide. Can you explain to me what an oxygen debt is? So, when you've been exercising for a long amount of time, your body will switch to doing anaerobic respiration because there won't be enough oxygen